Welcome to Leadership Unlearned and Reframed. In this program, we invite you to suspend all that you believe and know about leadership. We all have learned leadership maybe from reading a book, attending a conference, and the question for you is that what you consider leadership? When I speak about leadership, I'm not only speaking about a role in an organization. I am asking you to take up your leadership mantle in whatever system you operate, work, or play with. Just think of your family. Who's the leader in your family? That's probably a good place in which you can display your leadership. Think about your community. Maybe that's the place where you want to display your leadership. It could be on your local football team, it could be in your local gym. And so, because we're asking you to suspend what you believe and know, we are not, we're taking away from you. And so, we don't want to leave you without. So, that is why we're offering you a reframe. Most of our guests, they come with their ideas and their thoughts, and they actually share something for you to walk away with. So, today with me is Cathy LaCognata. And Cathy, you can introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, I'm Cathy LaCognata. I'm the CEO of Brooklyn Strength Club in Brooklyn, New York.
Hmm. So tell us a little bit about Brooklyn Strength Club. You just kind of push that in there. So let's explore that a little bit. What is
Okay, so
Brooklyn Strength Club?
as you know, since you're a student, Brooklyn Strength Club is a community gym that specializes in strength training
Mm,
um, for anybody,
mm.
where it's not a scary place.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It's gyms could be very intimidating, and your arrangement is so, for me, the only word I think about is safe. So can you share with us how you created that safe environment?
Well, I guess going back to the beginning, when I would go to a gym, it never felt safe to go into the weight room because there
Mm,
were mostly men in there. And I'm going back 2011, 2010, where women really didn't do a lot of weight training. Um, so the thought of being part of a gym that did that. Now, when I first started, we didn't really do a ton of weight training. I started as a spin instructor
oh,
back in Rockaway. And that's how I started. But it was still getting people being part of a community, creating a safe space that anybody could ride a bike, that kind of thing. So safety and security was always at the forefront of my belief system.
mhm. So, it's interesting, right? So you as a woman going into this male-dominated world. And so how did you move from spin instructor to owner of Brooklyn Strength?
Well, since we only have 30 minutes, um, it's been a journey. I can't even pretend that it hasn't been. Um, Definitely a male dominated world. I owned a gym, Rockaway Fitness, in Rockaway, New York, where my home is. Unfortunately, it got wrecked by Hurricane Sandy,
Hmm.
along with my home, my mother's home, everybody that I knew. So I moved it to Brooklyn and opened up because that was kind of all I had. Um, During that time, it was a very stressful time. We have no home, no business, rocky marriage, just everything was happening at once. Found great landlords who let me rent space in Brooklyn. And at the time, it wasn't always that welcoming. I did have a business partner at the time. He was a man. So it was still in that male dominated version that lasted about 3 years, got rid of him. And I was able to now create the space that I wanted.
Yeah. So there are a few things there in terms of what you shared. And, like Kathy, I think one of your qualities is being able to understate huge things, right? Because the first thing that I noticed was when you share that story about, Hurricane Sandy, loss of family home, rocky marriage, and still coming out of that, the word that came for me is resilience. Yeah. And as you know, I don't know if you noticed that, like how resilient you must have been, you are to actually come out of those experiences and still pursue a dream. Yeah, that's so
I
beautiful.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. I do
Yeah.
look back sometimes and wonder, how did I do it? I really wonder sometimes, like, how did I make it through?
Yeah.
That wasn't the only tragedy. Like then you had a bunch of other. My brother passed away,
Oh,
and then not Hurricane Sandy, COVID.
yeah,
And as you know, my daughter is in the business with me, so we're a mother-daughter owned business, which is the kind of
yeah,
other cool aspect of being women owned. So now you have two people who are in the same family are losing everything,
yeah,
everything that we worked for. That we, it wasn't always a dream from when I was little. Like I didn't always want to be a gym owner. Kind of just, I guess that's was God's will, and this is the path He put me on. And I do belong here. Like I totally know this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. But that was really hard. So when I think
yeah.
back to resilience, it was like I don't know how I made it through that either. Sometimes.
Yeah, and and I'm just thinking that I guess sometimes we push through adversity and we don't even know that we're pushing through because it's like, what choice do we have but to push through?
Right.
Yeah. But and I just want to celebrate in this moment, how brave you are, what courage you have, and I guess in some ways belief.
I appreciate that. You're going to make me cry.
That's okay. That's okay.
I
I
think that's something that you'll
yeah,
find about me as well as that I'm authentic. The Kathy you see here is the Kathy
yeah,
you're going to see in the gym. Is the Kathy you're going to see on the beach.
yeah,
I don't. I am who I am. Um, but I think that is what makes me good at what I do.
yeah. I think that's also, for me, visiting your space, that's what makes the space real. Like, I don't feel like when you say hi and you talk to people in the gym that there's anything but Kathy. And I think that's a big part of creating something that feels safe for people.
Yes, like I said, the gym is a huge part of my life. There was many years where I coached all the classes. It was just me and Megan for a while after COVID. After we were closed for 10 months, we're able to reopen. Great landlords that were able to help us. We coached every class, and it was like it was hard.
Yeah.
People are coming out of this pandemic. Nobody knows what's safe, what's good. It was a really rough time. And then little by little, we got Coach Sammy, who was again, I think God put her in our path and helped us, create this safe environment. And the more I know, that we rebranded recently. So last year, again, felt like it was time for another change
Mm,
because we were originally at TFW Brooklyn for many, many years. And I loved the organization, met some of my best people in the gym industry there. But me and Megan felt like it was time for something different. And we always wanted to be a strength club and be a little bit more welcoming because it used to be black and yellow, kind of bright and
right.
kind of in your face. And Megan is a graphic designer, so she designed the whole entire gym, coloring, and just everything now feels safe. And I love that word because just I guess when I look back at what I went through, I never really had a space to feel safe.
Yeah.
And if I can create that for somebody else, I don't care if they lose weight. I don't care if they don't want to lift weights. If they can come into our space and feel loved, seen, listened to, validated, and safe, it's a win. It's a win.
Yeah. The sense that I'm getting, is like it was such a deliberate and intentional creation of a space. You spoke about the colors and moving away from the bold yellow and black into the colors you have now. And sort of, you don't care, but you just want people to feel that when they're here, I guess they're home.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could attest to that. I mean, I've visited a lot of places before I came to you. And when I visited you, I did feel a sense of, yes, I could see myself here. I could work out here. I do feel safe here. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That is our main driver in
Mhm.
any of our marketing, in any of the events we put up. Um, yeah, that's probably the most important thing. I want people to be safe and be seen.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get to that? What shifted for you that you said, this is what I want to create, that this became your vision? I mean, you spoke about leaving TTFW. So
Mhm.
what became your the driving force for you to say, yes, I'm going to do this now?
I think, and like I said, we're talking about leadership also. I think the hardest person to lead is yourself. And I think for many years, I didn't lead myself. I led
Mm,
everybody else, but I myself couldn't lead myself. I didn't know how to. So I think in the last couple of years, and one of my big things, and I say this all the, I say this that it is hard to say sometimes. Alcohol was a huge thing that I had to conquer. So I was
mhm.
able to give that up. It was life changing. And I think I found myself.
Yeah.
I now I'm able to lead myself. And then it became, I don't think what we were doing was the way I wanted it anymore. Me and Megan had tons of conversations about what do we want to deliver? What do we want to bring to the neighborhood? How do we want people to feel? And everybody wasn't feeling that. Some were, some weren't. And that's not what I want everybody to feel like that.
Mm,
That's how the vision came to life. And it took a lot of guts because this was now another thing that I disrupted a successful business. It's almost like I looked at it like I took my baby, dropped it on its head, and hoped that it would be okay. And
yeah.
it was really tough. People who left, they left, but I do still think there was no hard feelings. It was just something I had to do for that we had to do to succeed in what our vision. And we got so many wonderful people like yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Right. So it was like like a business shift. And
Yeah.
it felt right.
Yeah. It's two things you said that I found very interesting. So like when I began to trust myself, I bet on myself and I won. So it sounds very much like that. And then
Mm.
the word you said disrupting. Yeah. Tell me more about either or both of those.
Like so the disruption was like I said, we everything seemed to be going okay until I noticed you notice the little things. And I think as again, I changed dramatically when I quit drinking. I saw things I didn't see, or I
Mhm.
saw them differently. I was able to think further. I was able to project what the future would look like because now I have a vision, like a clear vision. Um, and again, me and Megan went back and forth, back and forth. Do we do it? Do we not do it? Do we do it? Do we not do it? And we just said, we got to do it. And whatever happened, we know that we're good at what we do. And more than anything, we believe in it. Like I believe in it so much. And I think you felt that from me. I think anybody who walks in the gym feels it from me. And it's never about money. I think once you start chasing the dollar, it's over for you. I want to help people. When you call my gym and you try to come in like as a client, and you'll know the first thing is we have to get on a phone call.
Yeah.
And my first question is, how can I help?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know. How can I help? So the disruption created this new path that that we bring people in on because it's got to be how can I it's got to be helpful. That's what I'm here for. We're here to serve. And if I can't help you, then I'll guide you in a different direction. But if I can, then we need to come in and meet, let's talk. And I think people really like that because in today's world, nobody's listening to anybody.
Yeah.
Some people are looking and when they say that, like, you really want to know what I want? I'm like, yes, I want to know what you want. I need to know what you want.
Yeah.
So the disruption was good, but very scary.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Very scary.
And how did you overcome that feeling of fear or that scariness, that scary feeling?
Learning to trust myself.
Mhm.
Again, something that I was not able to do. Again, these things go back to your upbringing. As we talked before, that
Mhm.
Irish Catholic upbringing, it was, women don't do things like this, or women are small. Um, be safe, get a job with a pension, which I didn't do, obviously. And I disrupted everything I was told to do. Um, I trusted myself.
Yeah.
There were really some really hard months last year, really hard. I might have sat here and cried. And being a leader, again, sometimes it's lonely.
It
Like
is.
I don't want Megan to see me upset because then she's going to be upset. Like, so a lot of it I held on my own, and that was hard to carry.
Yeah.
It was
That
hard to
is
carry.
hard to that is hard to carry. That is a lot to carry, and I think and you're right, leadership is lonely. That's one of the things that leaders are saying more and more. And of course that leads for some people to anxiety and then, everything else that we use to just sort of help us get over that anxiety. And so now, how do you get over your anxiety when you have these moments that are really difficult and you don't want anybody to see? Who helps you? How do you support yourself or how do you get support?
Um, Again, you're gonna make me cry again. um, the one place for comfort that I know I could always go is my mother.
Ah, yeah,
She is my rock. I go there for safety, for security, and just for comfort.
yeah,
After her, I have my team. My team is incredible. I can go to any one of them at any time, even being the leader. And if I just need, it might not be that we're having a conversation, what's going on, let's work out. It's
right.
usually, let's do a workout. And that connects us in a beautiful way. And then I have my
Mm,
children that I can go to, whether it's my son Thomas, we'll go to Costco. We have to go to our dinners together. Me and Kayla will go for a walk in the boardwalk, my other daughter. So I try to do things like that because I don't want to go for alcohol, don't want to
yes.
go for food. So you have to find those little things. But training is one of the most important ones. And that's why I
Mhm.
think the gym is such a beautiful place because it can change your body, of course, but it can change your mind so
Yeah,
much more.
yeah.
So much more.
I absolutely agree with that because for me, the gym is less about how I look than how I feel. And once it is that, I engage, it just like shifts my mind so much and calms me so much more. And of course, that means that I'm more productive. So yes, it is, and so a lot of what you shared is in terms of, I think people have difficulty finding those support systems. And it sounds like, like your family is your main support system, as well as I think there is a sort of, I would call it beauty in the fact that even though you're the leader, you can still lean on your team for support. And it may not be the language of you need to hold space for me or I need a cry. It might be, hey, this is what we do. Let's work out together. And I think there's something in there which I think it is a good offer for other leaders. Because a lot of times leaders can't go to their teams and say, oh my God, my anxiety is up, and you have found a way in which your team can support you without sort of like interfering with the relationship as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. So in what other ways do you collaborate with your team?
So I think that I'm a very different kind of boss. It's funny. I had a conversation with one of my team members today, and I was like, I don't want to be your typical boss because I remember having a boss. I worked on Wall Street when I first got out of high school, and it was, you couldn't call in sick. You were petrified to do anything wrong. That's not the type of boss I want to be. I want it to be a collaboration. We're all in this together. And everybody, they're a lot younger than me. I'm 58. My team is 36 and under.
Hmm.
That's a big difference, but they're a huge part of my growth as a person. And I think that we're very different. I think we all know that. But I think that they have a lot of valuable opinions that do make a difference that I don't understand, or that I don't really know. And when we collaborated, I've learned so much from all of them. It's unbelievable how much they've taught me
Hmm.
about myself, about how the world is a little different today. Um, and they will look up to me, but I can also be there with them. Like I
Yeah.
go into train twice a week just with the team. I
Hmm.
don't have to work. I can work. We train together. That's what we do.
Yes.
And this is probably the first time in all the years that I've had different teams that we've been so consistent that we train these 2 days a week, every week, unless you're on vacation or unless you're sick. There's no excuse that I don't feel like it, I'm not coming. And we hold each other accountable, which I think is really important because we hold our students accountable. I'm a firm believer. I wasn't always, so I'm not even going to lie. In this new version of Cathy, that being a leader is also being able to be in the trenches with your team.
Yeah.
I do what you do. I'm with
Yeah.
my students come in and they see me running on a Friday morning. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yes, I've seen
What
you.
are you doing? I'm doing what you do. I can't ask you to run if I'm not running, like that kind of thing. And I think it's a beautiful way to lead. It's probably my favorite version of my leadership is the way I am today.
Yeah,
Many different versions of leadership,
of course.
depending on the version of Cathy that was at the time.
Yeah. And so I want to note that, a lot of people often have problems with people below 36. A lot
Mhm.
of leaders who are, Gen X, yeah, Gen X, they have problems with millennials and the other people coming into the workspace. And it sounds like you found a way to bridge that gap.
I have. It wasn't always easy. Like I said,
Mm.
I don't lie either. I'll take, but I think by being a better listener,
Mm.
and I think that's really important. Everybody has something to say, and nobody listens anymore. And I think we all, everybody has a voice. It doesn't mean that I'm going to do exactly what somebody wants, but I think all the opinions matter. And just by listening to somebody, that can also be life changing.
Yeah. And so it's the second time that you've spoken about listening. And that seems to be something that's really big for you. Right. Yeah. You want to share a
Yeah.
little bit about that in terms of how you discovered or why it is that you're leaning into listening as one of your features for your leadership?
So for years, I've always had a coaching group for the gym, and again, the gym myself, and it was Business for Unicorns. They really just helped gym owners. And Michael Keeler, one of the gentlemen who run it, was so invested in like human psychology, I guess. And it really is amazing how that's so important when you are dealing with people,
Yeah.
especially the general public. And one of the greatest like things that he ever did was like a listening course. And
Mm,
it's amazing how it changed my view on the way I speak to people, the
mm,
conversations. It's so hard for people to not interject and interrupt. And I think it has a lot to do with the world today. The phone, Instagram, everything is ding, 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 that kind of thing. Nobody wants to listen. So as a coach, um, one of the best things I can do, I think, for anybody, especially my students, is listen to them. And that's why I like to start with, how can I help?
yeah.
And most people are floored. They don't even know what to say. And how much is it is not what I'm looking for. I want to know if I can help you before we even talk about money.
Yeah.
And I think it's an important skill set that people lack.
Yeah. It is. It is. I can't agree with you. And it's not easy to listen. It's a very hard skill.
Right. But
Yeah.
it can be so profound, especially in the realm of coaching. I take pride in knowing my students, knowing what they do for a living, knowing if they're married, they have children, what drives them. I
Mm,
can tell, are they having a bad day? Like I really take pride in that. To me is what makes a great leader or a great coach. I'm invested in you. You're
yeah.
not a number. You don't. You're not just someone who's paying me every month. I don't sell a gym membership. I sell coaching
Yeah.
without you even realizing that you're getting it.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I noticed about your space is that the instructors know people's names. People come to the door and somebody who's behind the desk, whether it's Julia or Megan, says, "Hi, Maxine. Hi." And I go like, it's so weird. It's absolutely weird. It took me a minute to
Right?
get used to it. And when we're leaving, they're like, "Bye, Maxine." And I'm going like, why are you talking to me? I'm going
Right.
home.
Because you matter. That's right.
Yeah, now I
Um,
could appreciate
yeah,
it because it's consistent, but it was a little jarring at first.
right.
Yes, it is
Isn't it
different.
sad that it's jarring when you're coming to a business and you're surprised they know your name?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's yeah, that's a requirement. Like everybody needs to know everybody's name.
Yeah,
And it again, it can be life change. It can change someone's whole day.
it
How are
can.
you, Maxine?
Yeah.
Wow. And they're not asking because they don't kick just to say it. If they ask, they're waiting for an answer.
Yes, I've realized that as well. It's they ask and then they pause. It's not like so it is, it is appreciated and it took a little getting used to because there aren't many spaces that offer that,
Right.
regardless of how they position themselves, to actually stop and wait for an answer and you realize, okay, she hasn't moved on and she's waiting for an answer. That to me is great. It's just that it took a while to get used to. And it's a good thing.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
I do. It took me by surprise a few times, but it's like, okay, this is the way they roll. Okay, great, no problem. So I want to acknowledge that we do have some guests, and I want to leave the floor open. If any of the guests have a question for Cathy, this would be a time, or comment for Cathy, this would be a time where you could unmute yourself and speak to her for me.
Someone's got to be brave. There she goes.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, I'll just chime in and say
Hey, Meg.
hi. That was great for me to hear, even though we live it together every day. Um, I'm also wondering how Mima got in the Zoom room.
So Megan, I want to just acknowledge, just for people to be clear, that you and Cathy are in this business together.
Yes,
Yeah.
so Cathy is my mom, her 31-year-old daughter. So I'm part of the coaching team as well. So yeah, we run the business together. Yeah.
And is there anything you want to add to the story that Cathy shared with us from your perspective and your experience?
I think that she covered everything really well. I do think we have two different perspectives. Because I've seen her personal growth and business growth and leadership growth over the years, and the people that we've chosen or that she's chosen to be on the team for our business and also surround herself with in personal life. It's been really cool to watch, over the years, the growth from both business and personal and how that also merges. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Megan. So, this idea of growth, right? You can see how the personal growth has funneled the business growth. And, it's such positive feedback that you got from Cathy, from somebody who's up close to you and watching this business on a daily basis. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
for sure.
Megan. Anybody else wants to share anything or ask any questions?
I'm gonna
Well,
jump in. I don't know. This is Susan. Hello.
Hi,
nice.
Susan.
Relatively new client of Kathy's, and greatly appreciative, Cathy, of all of your leadership skills that I see or that you have with me and with everybody else. I mean, it's amazing. So, I mean, it was so scary to walk into that gym the first time, but so glad I did. Really grateful. You've changed my life.
Oh.
And I guess, I mean, I want to ask just like, what do you do? Like, what's the way to really help people? Maybe it's your clients or maybe it's your team. I don't know. But when things feel like they're going off track or they're not, I mean, I've seen you, of course, correct me in some ways or help me in that way. But what are some really, is it hard for you to do that? Or, I mean, you seem a natural at it, but is it a challenge?
It can. Thank Susan. First off, thank you so much for your kind words, and for even jumping on this. I really appreciate that. It definitely is hard because I think, and one of the things that we also do at the gym is I try to meet people where they're at. Some people join the gym, they're doing great, and then something happens in life. And unfortunately, the first thing that you let go of is something that you're doing for yourself. That's the first thing that goes to the wayside. So I definitely reach out. If it's a text message, or then a phone call. I try to meet people for coffee. And it's not about coming back to the gym again. It's like even to keep them consistent. It's about how can I help you at this point in your life where it's not about I don't need you to come back to the gym right now, but how can I help like guide you through this, and then we'll get you back on track when you're ready. So I think it's real. I'm it's meeting people where they're at in what capacity they're ready for me to meet them also. And I think knowing that, and that's why I think it's so important to know my students like I do. And like coaches, like that's what we do, and that's what makes us different.
Yeah. Does that same approach work as a leader of a team of people who employees, and or is it very different?
Actually, I've recently, again, this is the new version of Cathy, recently have been using that as well with my team. And I think me being so involved with the team, it makes it a lot easier because I see them every day. I see what goes on. If they need me, I'm always going to reach out with that olive branch. Do you need me? How can I help? Always with an open hand. I really think having that giving hand, willing to help anybody is going to be the way to go. And if that doesn't work, if it goes beyond that, then there's going to be, different course of action. But I haven't had to deal with that, thank goodness, this team at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Sure.
Anybody else wants to say anything? Kathy, did you want to respond to what Megan shared? Oh,
Hi.
sorry. Go
Hello?
ahead. Yeah, we
Hi.
can hear you. Go
This is
ahead.
Thomas and Mima. Hi, Mom.
Hey, that's my son and my mother.
Yeah. So I just want to, I wanted to ask a question. Mima will say she's proud of you later when she gets the courage to speak. But
Okay.
I wanted to know what's the process of like developing people and coaches. Like once you first get them, what do you view as the best process to start developing people to actually work in the gym well and like show them your process?
We have very strong standard operating procedures, which are SOPs that Megan has all written up. That these are the way we run classes. This is what we follow. I always like people to shadow me around the room whether I'm personal training or whether I'm coaching to see how I deal with people. Most of the time when I'm hiring somebody, just from the interview, from the phone interview to the in-person interview, to have them coming into the gym before I hire somebody, you have to take 2 weeks of classes. I have to see what you're like with my students. And by then I'm going to know if you fit or not. And I try to lead by example.
Gotcha. Thank you. Oh, yes, Mima.
Cathy, I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you, Mama.
I feel like crying, but I won't.
Oh,
And I love you so much.
oh, I love you too, Mom. Thanks. We wouldn't be here without you.
Okay, bye, honey.
Bye.
Yeah, so a lot of I think we didn't respond to Megan. Did you want to say anything to
Oh,
Megan when she shared?
I love her. Like I said, I couldn't do it without her. We fight like we're married. That's okay. It's okay. But it's been a beautiful journey. This journey that we're on together now with Brooklyn Strength Club
Yeah.
has been probably the highlight of my years. The years were tough from 2011 to 2023, and I'm getting to enjoy these years now because I feel like I am where I'm supposed to be, and it's me and Megan are doing this together, and we're doing it. This is it, and I'm happy you're part of it,
Absolutely.
Maxine.
Yeah, I gotta see it, see the vision and live a small part of it. And I want to thank you for that as well.
You're very
And so,
welcome.
this has been it's been a beautiful discussion. And I use the word beautiful. This is the second time I use it because that's the feeling that it evokes for me. It's been just looking at your resilience and hearing about it. Of course, very understated, you know, knowing that you had some personal growth that has really turned around and spurned your business growth. Coming from a place of great adversity, there was COVID, after the storm, and really the storm in your own personal life and having to find yourself in that position and really creating something new from all of whom you are and not a part of you. And so a sense that, like now you're seeing yourself and really being all of whom you are and who you always were. No more shadows, no more hiding, and putting yourself out there. I also want to just notice the community. I mean, true words have not been spoken. You spoke about your community, your mom being there for you. You spoke about your family, and here they are here in this room with you. So, more proof of exactly what you say is exactly what it is. And so I could thank you on behalf of the community that you've created because I'm part of it. How safe it is to walk into that gym, how non-frightening it is. And we are free to push ourselves as much as we want to push or as little as we want to push. And I remember our check-in in the 3-month check-in, and you said, how can I help you? And I was like, what is wrong with her? What is she talking about? What is she going on about? So there's so many things that you say that I have experienced, and it is different. And I really want to thank you and appreciate that you have created exactly what you intended to create. And it sounds like maybe there are a few more things that you're going to do, but we'll wait to see what happens then. Kathy, you want to tell the audience how they can get in touch with you if they are interested in just having to answer that question, how can I serve you?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website, www.brooklynstrengthclub.com. You can go on our Instagram, Brooklyn Strength Club. And you can just drop in a form and we'll call you and we'll get on a phone, get on a phone call and see again, how can we help?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kathy. This has been a wonderful
It was
conversation.
wonderful. Thank
And
you.
I'll package it and I will put it up on YouTube, put it up on Spotify, send you the links. And we're here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern talking to a leader. So thank you for your leadership, Kathy.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome.
Bye
Bye.
bye.